Hey guys, I can only do one more video with this new channel. There's a limit on videos I do a day. I think it's like 6. So, I was going to do like 2 parts to this, but I don't know if I can upload 2 within the next 24 hours. So I guess I'll just incorporate it all together. What I was going to say, I'm just going to try to speed it up some. I ain't going over 10 minutes. So I'm going to be honest. There are things that some Christians do that justify why some people don't like us. Some things are a little annoying. Like, I love my mother. I'm getting the wrong idea. But sometimes when I tell her things and she'll be like, we don't believe in that. I'm just telling you something I experienced. And like, she doesn't like the idea that I believe in curses. It's part of my OCD. I believe in curses. I believe in spirits. I believe in gay spirits. I believe in a heaven. I believe in a hell. She doesn't believe in heaven and hell. But there are things that I had experiences with that come to give me that to why I conclude this exists. But I've had a lot of experiences, mostly with psychedelic drugs, marijuana, LSD. I've had experiences where I have a lot of theories on life and death. And drugs are not the best source to get knowledge from because obviously it's drugs. But is marijuana not part of the earth? Is it not a plant that grows from the ground? From a tree? Is LSD not part of the earth? Does it not come from a plant as well? So, and I believe that everything on this earth, I'm not saying we should abuse it, but God made everything. And I don't see the harm in using things that God created. I don't believe in abusing it. Like, I don't believe in drinking 2 6-packs of energy drinks to try to obtain the feeling of like you're on meth, because I did that before. But there are a lot of beliefs I have from certain drugs that I question certain things about life. And here are some of them. And a lot of these are non-Christian. But to a degree, I believe in them. Hold up, guys. Blow my nose. So I don't really mention race on this channel very much. But if you guys didn't know, I know I'm not showing my face. I am black. But here's the thing. I've never been a proud black man. I'm not supposed to have pride as a Christian. I've never been a proud black man. I have love for myself. As in, let me explain what I'm trying to say. I have love for my hair texture, my features, my skin color. I have love for myself, but I don't have pride in an entire race or achievements that I contribute nothing to. I just don't. I never understood that at all. Why people say they're a proud white man or black man. They say how I'm proud of my race that you've done nothing to contribute to. And how can you be proud of something you've done nothing to obtain? But I love myself physically. I don't hate myself. I could never imagine being something else but what I am. But I had about a dub of weed is 20 sec. I had a dub and a half, like a $10, another half of the dub. That's like almost 2 bags, right? I had this method of consuming weed with my food, and it has a psychedelic effect to it. This is why weed is a lot of things. It's a stimulant, it's a psychedelic, it could be a depressant. It's a lot of things. I forget what day it was, but I remember it was like last year. And I was high because I was walking around dressed with church clothes on in the house. And I hardly ever wear clothes. But something just told me, start wearing clothes in the house. So my mother knew I was high because I was wearing like dress clothes and I wasn't even going nowhere. And I had everything. I had shoes on too. But I had this for about maybe 20 minutes to an hour, because drugs do talk to you. They don't talk to you like I'm talking right now. When people say they hear voices, they don't hear a voice like mine talking. I don't. Well, I've never gotten that high, so I don't really know if they do or not, and I don't intend on to. But they hear, basically, when they say they hear voices, the drug speaks to their conscience. It speaks to their heart. And what it told me was the reason why I'm black and I have a disability is because I most likely was a really horrible person in another life. Like I said, as a Christian, you're not supposed to believe in reincarnation. But it told me that it almost had like doctrines of Buddhism, because Buddhists believe that you degrade each life, each existence you have, each life you live, you degrade based on the kind of person you are. You're based on your character. So if you're a really horrible person in one life, in the next life you can be degraded to like maybe a fish or a toad or a sock or a rock. I didn't intend for that to rhyme, but it was telling me that. So it was saying that you're black, and most likely you probably were white in another lifetime, and you probably treated somebody that was black horrible. So we're going to show you what it's like to be black. And one thing, when I just thought about that for like a whole hour, I just said, man, that does make sense. Or another thing, and if some people that smoke weed, just if you had that happen to me, let me know. But I had that experience. If you guys don't know too, I don't identify with disabilities, but I technically have some. And it told me that the reason why people are disabled, because they were probably horrible people. Well, they were horrible people. They were horrible people in another life. And we're going to show them what it's like to be crippled. Like, so basically, being handicapped is supposed to hinder you from any behavior that you once engaged in. And I want to be careful with my language here. So basically, I have impaired communication skills, social skills, relationship skills, right? Something tells me that I probably did something really horrible to somebody. I don't know if I like did the R word to somebody, or I did something the unthinkable. But maybe in a way, the universe doesn't want me, because I don't want to associate drugs with God. So I'll just say the universe. Like, God is everything. God created the universe too. But I don't want to disrespect God and be like, oh, God wants me to, he wants to impair my ability to make relationships because I probably R-worded somebody. And he feels like the universe feels like I don't deserve that privilege of making friends because I did the unthinkable, or I was a bad person. So we're gonna hinder your ability to make relationships because you didn't use them. You abused them. You abused the people that were around you. You did horrible things. So those were two things I just thought about. Man, this person that's in a wheelchair, this person that has cerebral palsy, maybe they were a horrible person, and their disability is just hindering them from continuing their cycle of whatever they did. And that does make sense. Like, if I killed a bunch of people in one life and I want to preserve life on Earth, yeah, I would put somebody in a wheelchair so they don't commit violence. And think about it, people that are disabled, like really handicapped, they don't really do much. And maybe, like I said, maybe that disability in the next life, it breaks off because they didn't do nothing wrong when they were in the wheelchair. Most likely, they're not going to really do much. Another thing. Oh yeah, so the first two that I named were from marijuana. I don't want the video to be too long. I'll do another one tomorrow. Well, when the 24 hours time span breaks. But this is one that when I was taking acid the second time, right? This is something that I thought about for a couple days. And this is why I feel people commit suicide when they take acid. Sorry about that. I feel like people hurt themselves when they take acid because they can't deal with what it is they experience during whatever their trip tells them. Like I told you, it doesn't really talk to you. It just speaks to your heart, your conscience. So it told me that this thing called life is only happening to you. Everything around you is not real. Now, obviously, that may not make sense to some people, but it did make sense to me. And that's why I thought about it for like almost a whole month. So everything, let me explain what I mean. Everything around me is just decorations. I'm basically in this world alone, and everything around me is just an illusion. It's not real. You're in this by yourself. It was also telling me that I'm really the God. And I would never disrespect God and say I'm a God, but it was telling me, don't you think maybe you're the God? Everything, like you didn't create the world. Reason why I don't believe I'm God, well, that's disrespectful for one, but if I was God, I would know everything, and I don't. I have to learn things like the average person. I don't speak 15 languages, so I don't know everything to call myself a God. But it was telling me that I'm the God, and I'm just in this by myself. This is all just, everything is just an illusion. And everything around me isn't real. Now, if I touch somebody or I hit somebody, obviously they're going to have a reaction. They're going to do something back. But they're telling me that all this thing called life, it all stops when you die. So the whole world will stop when I die. Nothing else will exist when you die. And that was pretty dark. It's some dark things that you can have during LSD trips. That's why I don't think everybody should use it. Because some things I could take. Anything I experienced during the psychedelic trip, I could take. But not everybody can. Not everybody can take in what they learn. So, for one, and check this out. The very same trip that I had, it mentioned my dad's now wife. Now, around this time, I'm beginning to stop saying that I hate people, because it's telling me not to have that in my heart. It's not good to have hate. But it was asking me, how can you hate her when she's also you too? And I was like, what do you mean? How can she be me? And I was just like, that makes no sense. But they were like, how can you hate her when you created her as well? Because it was basically telling me that anybody that you have a hatred for, they're also you too. You're them as well. You created them. How can you hate what you created? And I was like, that doesn't make any sense. But then I thought about it. I was like, well, it's almost like it was saying we're all just one. That's when I came with the philosophy of, don't hate your neighbor, because you're all just one at the end of the day. But it was saying, like, you can't hate her because they're also you too. So lady who commented on my video, Shirley, whatever your name is, I don't usually I don't usually acknowledge faceless accounts. I don't hate you either. I don't have any hatred for you. I'm not going to go back and forth with you because I don't know you. Don't want to know you, but I don't hate you. But it was like, how can you hate your dad's wife when they're also you too? I'm trying to think of one more. Oh yeah, it emphasized, when I only took one tab one time, that life is just an endless cycle that never stops. It never stops. But I don't recommend trying to obtain knowledge from drugs, because once again, they're not really credible, because it could change. Things can go south. So I don't recommend drugs. But at the same time, are they not part of the earth? Is marijuana not a plant? Is LSD not a plant, a chemical, whatever you want to call it? But I do another parties tomorrow.